Jerusalem Talmud Yomi, the daily reading of the Talmud Yerushalmi, and we are and this is not necessarily correlated with the general uh, place that they're at with the official Yerushalmi calendar. It might be before, it might be after. It's probably a little bit behind. I've been doing smaller amounts than actually just the daf, but it's the portions of the Yerushalmi. And the Yerushalmi schedule for Tractate Shabbat, it started on December 14th, was the first daf of the Yerushalmi, and will end on March 14th. So as long as I'm completed by March 14th, in average, it was around the same page. But I'm doing some days smaller and some days larger. But at any rate, the first Mishnah, the first chapter, the fifth Mishnah, and this is part one of that. The Mishnah says, Beishamai Omrim Ein Shorin Dayo Samemanim Yecharshinin Ella Kadei Shishor Mibod Yom Beis Hil Matirin. Interesting. Just talked about today. It's a good sign. The house of Shammai say one does not soak ink, chemicals, or vetch unless they will be soaked when it is still daylight, but the house of Hillel permitted. It's talking about before Shabbos, I think, like Friday afternoon, probably. Halacha. In the Talmud Yerushalmi, they say halacha. That's their way of saying Gemara. Halacha Mishnah. The house of Shammai says one does not soak ink, chemicals, or vetch. What is the reason in the house of Shammai? 6 days you shall do work and do all your deeds. On all your deeds, finish them by daylight. What is the reason of the house of Hillel? 6 days you shall work on your works, and on the seventh day, rest. Yeah. How do the house of Hillel explain the reason of house of Shammai? 6 days you shall work and do all your deeds. Sheishis yamim tasem lachtecha. Ubayom hashvi'i. And on the day. And on the, yeah. How do the house of Hillel explain the reason of the house of Shammai? 6 days you should do all your work, do all your deeds. When they work with their hands, how did the house of Shammai explain the reason of the house of Hillel? 6 days you shall work on all your works on the seventh day, following what was stated. One opens a water canal leading into a garden on Friday evening, and it is continuously watered on the Sabbath. One puts ointment on an eye on Friday evening, and it is continuously healing on the Sabbath. One puts a compress on a wound on Friday evening, and it is continuously healing on the Sabbath. One puts burning incense under clothing on Friday evening, and is continuously smoked on the Sabbath. One puts sulfur under clothing on Friday evening, and is continuously sulfured on the Sabbath. One may not give wheat into a water mill on Friday unless everything it will be completely ground as long as it is daylight. Rabbi Haggai said, because it is making noise. Rabbi Yossi said to him, it is fine if one holds with Rabbi Judah, but for the rabbis, just as they say, because not every single drop was started, so they say here, because not every grain kernel was started. Rabbi Yossi ben Abun said, because he is apt to forget, and he will push the peg.